Greetings and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppet Treasure Island 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And hey, our guest from last week is back with us here in the Apple Barrel with us once again. Guest, who are you?
Back again, it's Katilyn from toughpigs.com, and I did not prepare a second song.
Oh, you really had me going for a second there.
Oh man, what a thrill. What a thrill.
So thank you for joining us again. Thank you for returning.
I'm glad to be back here a week later.
Yes, it's been 1 week.
It's a whole week, 7 days. And this time we're talking about minutes 53 and 54 of Muppet Treasure Island, in which Jim and friends overhear an evil plan and the Hispaniola spots land. So we open with the Apple Barrel. Remember that from last week? And who's inside the Apple Barrel? It's Gonzo and Rizzo. Just like at the beginning of Muppet Christmas Carol, you got Gonzo and Rizzo on screen with apples.
With some apples.
Yeah.
Apple
They're not
around.
they're not Red Delicious this time, though. Those are definitely not Red Delicious. Though Red Delicious had been propagated by this point by like 10 years. So
Okay.
Oh, so unlike Christmas Carol, where they were an anachronism.
well,
Right.
they would have been propagated by the time that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote the book,
Wrote the book, right? Yeah.
but they wouldn't have been on the Hispaniola.
Probably not, right. But based on the appearance of the apples, do you have a guess as to what they might be?
These ones look like Fuji or Gala, but again,
I was thinking Gala.
also anachronistic because those weren't propagated until the 30s. Yes, I looked these up.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I do like a good Gala apple. So, yes, we hear Gonzo's voice. He says, "This apple has a worm in it." And Rizzo says, "That's not a worm, that's my tail." Somehow Gonzo did not notice that his friend's tail was inside his apple.
It's a very small space.
So Ryan,
Yeah.
I got to ask you,
Yes.
do you think about monkey business every time you see the outside of that barrel? Like I
I don't, but I should have.
Yeah, so in the Marx Brothers movie Monkey Business, the first thing we see is the four Marx Brothers inside 4 different kippered herring barrels, which are labeled kippered herring, and just like this one is labeled apples.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it every time.
Well, and that leads to a joke in Monkey Business that makes me laugh every time, where you just see the barrels and you hear the voices singing. And then it cuts to like the captain and his first mate, and the first mate says, "There's 4 stowaways on board, sir." And the captain says, "How do you know there are 4 of them?" And the first mate says, "They were singing Sweet Adeline, sir." Which just cracks me up because that's a barbershop quartet song.
Yeah, and then you hear them. You get to hear them sing Sweet Adeline.
Yeah, you do. But
Great movie.
is Harpo really singing? Nobody's really sure. It's a subject of debate in Marx Brothers fan circles.
It really is. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, in this movie, in the Apple Barrel, Gonzo sighs. Rizzo asks, "What's wrong?" Gonzo says, "It's just so weird." And Rizzo very somberly asks, "You mean that Mr. Arrow's dead?" And Gonzo says, "Well, that, and my pants are filled with starfish." Now, the disappointment in his voice.
The sigh, Katilyn. I love it. I'm so much more amused by your disappointment at this joke than I am at the joke. Please go on.
Well, it's sort of a typical Gonzo is weird joke, but the disappointment in his voice indicates that he thought putting starfish in his pants would be a lot of fun, but it turns out that it's just not.
I assume that the writers thought we need a joke in here. We just came off the funeral scene. We need to lighten some things up. Now's a great time for some Gonzo Rizzo magic. And this was what they came up with.
That's awful. I hate it.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind this one.
Here's what I put in my notes. Gonzo talking about things being in his pants is never funny to me. He does it all the time in the 90s and later, and it always feels like a placeholder. Like always. Just, they do this in the Lady Gaga special, right? He talks about
what does he have in his pants? And
I don't know, not fruitcake or something. I don't know. figgy pudding. I don't know.
Oh, did he talk about having tapioca in his pants at some point?
Yeah, he talked about tapioca in his pants. Is that in this
Yeah.
movie? Is that
I
earlier
don't
in
know.
this movie? I don't know.
I don't remember. But do you think this movie is the first time he talked about putting stuff
Let
in
me
his
see.
pants?
I'm gonna look Gonzo tapioca in his pants because I think it's something we covered on this podcast.
Okay. I feel like one of the
I
three
couldn't
of
have I
us
couldn't have said tapioca. Let's see.
after this, one of the three of us should write an article for the Tough Pigs website about Gonzo putting things in his pants.
Is there a Muppet Wiki page about this?
And how it's
Oh, well, maybe.
I couldn't find one.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be, but I could not find it.
Well, I always, I love that Gonzo does things for art. Like that is absolutely an artist thing where you put things together that no one else would make a connection between, and it's meaningful to you. And, Gonzo makes sense in that way. But
if he's just being a kinky little freak, you don't like it.
Yeah, well, yeah. So like if he had starfish in his pants for a purpose, we can see that character. Whereas it's just like, I enjoy extremely weird nonsense. It's not a character trait.
I get what you're saying, but The Great Muppet Caper is my favorite Muppet movie, and in that one, Gonzo being weird is pretty much always just for a thrill rather than for art. He wants to jump out of the hot air balloon just to see what it's like. He enjoys getting his nose smashed on the elevator, and none of that stuff is for art. It's just like Gonzo likes weird, painful stuff.
Right, but in that he's a daredevil. Like that's his hobby. He's a photographer at work. He's a photographer in the streets and a daredevil in the sheets. But in this one, like this joke isn't daredevil stuff either. It's just like, hey, look how crazy I am. I have something in my pants. Like,
yeah,
it's the chili pepper shirt of jokes for me. Like,
it is the difference between, Niv likes soccer and, Oscar enjoys the trash because he is a grouch, and therefore, like, there needs to be a therefore.
Yeah, right.
That is pants.
That you're
such a good way to put it.
You're referring to the new Sesame Street character.
I am Becca's
who
favorite.
Likes soccer. Yes.
Likes soccer.
All right. I don't have a problem with this line. I mean, I agree that later in the history of Gonzo, the putting things in his pants gets old, but I guess at this point it has not reached its expiration date for me. But we'll keep an eye out for it in future movies, I guess. Rizzo doesn't like it, though. He says, "You and your hobbies." And then suddenly Jim is poking his head into the barrel. Gonzo says they've missed him. He invites Jim to climb in with them.
I really like when we see from Jim's point of view looking down at the two in the barrel. The overhead shot. I think that's great. I really like that.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of when Rizzo, he just falls into a barrel at some point in Muppet Christmas Carol. That's the shot when we see him tapping his foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Impatiently up at Gonzo. Yeah. That looks good. So they invite him to climb in. He initially says he can't because he has to do his chores. Although Gonzo and Rizzo are also cabin boys, so why don't they have to do chores? Maybe they finished theirs already. I don't know. But they do convince him to jump in and share an apple. And then once Jim gets in, the apple barrel appears to be bigger than it was before, or definitely bigger than it is on the outside.
Oh, yeah, because when he looks down into the barrel, you can see how much space is in the barrel, and it is not enough for a preteen boy.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. It's like he has to shrink or the barrel has to grow, like you said, right? Like,
yeah. Or both. But no sooner is...
I like the idea that it's like a 2/3 scale Jim that they use in the barrel.
Yeah, they actually had to build a smaller Kevin Bishop.
Yeah, right.
Put him in there.
What did they do for him to actually like fall into the barrel? Like, do you think that was done against a green screen? Or
I don't. That's a good question, because it looked like there might have been some camera trickery going on there. Actually, I forgot to write a note about that. I'm glad you mentioned it. Like maybe the barrel was closer to the camera, but there was something else farther away from the camera that he was actually climbing into. That's kind of what it looked like, but I really don't know. That's just a guess.
I at least assumed that he was falling behind the barrel rather than into the barrel.
Yeah, something like that. But it goes by quickly enough that if you're just watching this, not 2 minutes at a time, it doesn't really register as unusual. But no sooner is Jim inside the barrel than Polly, Clueless Morgan, and Mad Monty enter the room. Polly says, "Anyway, here's the plan." But Monty immediately interrupts him, saying, "I say we should kill that captain now." I have misplaced my list of how many times the words "kill" and "dead" and "die" are in this movie.
It's too many.
So I think
for you to
well,
count.
I may have missed. Yeah, I think I've missed one or two. I'm going to try to track that down, and I will add this to the list. So this
there was a whole funeral scene.
I don't think they ever say the word "dead" or "die" at the funeral, though.
Let's see. They say, what is it? The sea has claimed a fellow passenger or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, although Rizzo did just say Mr. Arrow's dead, so that would be another instance of that word. So they do say these words a lot, regardless.
How long do we think it's been since the funeral? Because, Gonzo reminds us that he's dead, even though we just saw him. No time has passed for the audience. But he reminds us, and as you guys mentioned, there are several times where they're reminding the audience what is happening to make sure the kids can follow along. And then we've got these three coming in as if they just released themselves from the brig. So have they just been locking themselves back up every night? Have they been wandering around the ship? And then later, Long John already has the map, so they've already given it to him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I assumed that they must be locking themselves back in the brig and then letting themselves out, but we never actually see that, do we?
No, and then they go up on deck with Long John later on in the scene. So
yeah. So maybe this is the same day as the funeral. Maybe the funeral's in the morning and this is just later that same day. Or is there any reason to think that it couldn't be?
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Yeah. So maybe inconclusive.
We'll never know.
Yeah. So then Polly says after they kill the captain, they'll get that twit of a bear. So for some reason he has it in for Squire Trelawney.
Wouldn't you, man? If you were on that ship and the guy who chartered the ship is the dumbest person you've ever met and won't stop talking about his imaginary friend.
Yeah.
What is there to like?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would just.
If you know Fozzie from TV, they don't even know him from TV. They have no
That's
reason.
true. They have no reason to find him lovable.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were a ruthless pirate and I were on board with Squire Trelawney talking to Mr. Bimbo, I might want to just cut that finger off. I don't know. Maybe that's too violent.
If
for
you're
me to
Mad
say,
Monty, he's that violent. He'll do more than cut a finger.
Yeah. I'm sure he's looking forward to that.
Clueless Morgan prefers to cut a throat.
He does. Clueless does say here that he wants to make a rug out of that bear. So,
and I have good news for Clueless Morgan, because you really could make a rug out of Fozzie in 1979 if you purchased the Columbia Minerva brand Muppet latch hook kit of Fozzie Bear.
Oh wow!
That is so 70s. That is so 70s.
Yes, it rules. There's a whole Muppet Wiki page about it, and they had Kermit, Piggy, Fozzie, Scooter, Animal. They got a whole Christmas line. They got the Swedish Chef. It's great. Because I was when they said I just wanted to Google was there ever a Fozzie Bear rug? But yeah, there was a whole Muppet latch hook line in 1979.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like Scooter would look weird as a rug.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's looking straight ahead. It's a straight. It's not a profile shot, so it looks pretty good.
Huh.
Well, so these rugs were just flat 2-dimensional representations of their faces that were okay.
Yes, faces, and there's also somewhat of an action pose. There's one of Fozzie holding a flag. Here, I'm gonna send it to you guys in the chat.
So it's
So you
not
can
Fozzie like spread out in the bear rug
no.
position.
That
Okay.
that was a toughpigs.com April Fool's merch that we
That
Oh,
is
came up
yeah.
true.
with.
That is true. Which
Right.
I think our pal Matthew Silberman came up with that one, if I remember right.
Yeah, that sounds right. And well, and of course he does that. Fozzie actually pretends to be a bear rug in Muppets Most Wanted, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Muppet latch hook kits. All right. Well, I
Yeah.
wonder if
So
these ever show up on eBay.
I kind of want to get them all and make them.
Oh, to actually, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
you
I
should seek
won't,
that
but I
out.
like the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, you like the idea.
I do. I really do.
So yes, at all of this bloodthirsty chatter among the pirates, the three cabin boys inside the apple barrel are understandably alarmed. Then Long John comes in. He's acting cranky. He says, "I'm an easy man, a gentleman of fortune," says most. Which, side note, I did look up the meaning of the phrase "gentleman of fortune." Merriam-Webster defines it as just an adventurer. But the top result on Google, when I Googled it, is from the Pirates of the Caribbean wiki, which says a gentleman of fortune is a successful pirate or notorious adventurer. So either way you slice it, it's an adventurer.
Now, is
Yeah.
this the closest quote, like almost directly from the book that we've gotten so far in this movie?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it
does-
is. Yeah.
Does Long John say, "I'm an easy man, a gentleman of fortune"?
I think when I looked it up, it was "I'm an easy man, a gentleman," rather than
Okay.
a gentleman of fortune. Because he's more of a con man in the book, I would characterize him.
Yeah, he says, "I'm an easy man. I'm quite the gentleman," says you. He's talking
okay.
to the other pirates. He's specifically talking to our old pal Israel Hands when he says it.
Look how important this character was.
Yeah. He's important in the book. He's important in the draft.
Right. But like all those guys, Israel Hands, Job Anderson, Tom Morgan, Dick Johnson, all those guys are basically what Clueless Polly, Mad Monty are in the movie. You know, they're just like the other main
Right.
pirates. You know,
Yeah.
they're like Long John's crew. So
Yeah.
so maybe Israel Hands was just replaced by Mad Monty.
Yeah, actually that I have something regarding that in in my notes a little bit later from the draft of the screenplay. But in this scene, Long John continues. He says, "It makes me sick at heart to sail with the likes of you." And inside the barrel, we see Jim smile with relief to hear Long John say this. But then Long John says, "If anyone mutinies before I says so, I'll throw you overboard like that scurvy mate, Mr. Arrow."
I think Kevin Bishop does a really good job of like looking genuinely crestfallen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so like he cannot believe what he's hearing.
Well, so this scene, I would say, like so many people say that Tim Curry is just a fellow Muppet when he's acting in this movie, as opposed to Michael Caine, who was treating the Muppets like people. And I think
Right.
what he's actually doing is doing the big acting like you would on stage. He's playing to the people in the back of the theater. But in this scene in particular, he gets to show a little bit more subtlety, as well as Kevin Bishop and the Muppets. Like, you wouldn't think they don't say anything, Gonzo, Rizzo, and Jim, while they're in the barrel, and yet like you somehow see like their emotions change, and it's so subtle and really great puppeteering.
Yeah, that's a good point. All three of them are good actors. Long John using the word mutiny as a verb gave me pause, so I looked that up as well. And yes, once again, according to Merriam-Webster, mutiny can be used as a verb. So try to work that into a conversation this week.
Just like we're going to mutiny, I'm just supposed to like tell. I'm going to tell my family. I'm going to tell my kids stop mutinying.
Exactly. If they're making a ruckus, or they're trying to like, we don't want to eat dinner at home, we want to go to McDonald's, say stop mutinying.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. I will, and I'll report back.
Okay. Or tell them you'll throw them overboard. Long John then waits. No. Long John says he wants to wait until Captain Smollett gets them closer to the island. And when the time is right, he says, "We'll kill them all." So again, there's another one. If I had my list, I would make a tally mark next to the word kill. And then again, another one because Mad Monty echoes it. Kill them all. And laughs like an evil villain, which he is. Then these four pirates run out of the room, leaving our three good boys to peek out of the barrel in fear.
Good boys.
Crammed in like sardines. How do you think they fit two puppeteers, two puppets, and Jim all coming out of the barrel?
That is a good question. They're crammed in they're crammed in like kippered herring, you might say.
Yeah. Either it's another illusion. No, it really looks like they're inside that barrel, though. So, yeah, they must be very close together.
Maybe it's just a false front on the barrel.
Maybe, yeah.
Like it's just like a half a barrel, and they're, you know what I mean? Because like we can't clearly see the back.
Right. I have to look at the shot again, but yeah,
that
good question.
Likely to me. I don't know.
Right. All right. So now we get another shot of the ship on the ocean, but this time there's a difference. We can see the island in the background. We see land. It's not just the ship on the ocean. And the Statler and Waldorf figureheads are very excited about this. They shout, "Land ho!" And then beachfront properties, retirement estates, and then bikinis.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What if Statler and Waldorf are horny? Is that funny? Would that constitute a joke?
It's not particularly funny.
I like the idea of them being the types who fly south for the winter. Like they summer in New York and then they fly to Florida.
Miami. I immediately thought like, oh, they think they're in Miami. Yeah.
They have a timeshare.
Yeah, that's it. It's not unprecedented for Statler and Waldorf to be horny. It happened on the Muppet Show for sure.
No, you are correct. You are correct.
But yeah, no, this could have been something else. I don't know. What else do you do at the beach?
There's just something about it specifically being bikinis that I find off-putting. Like I don't know. If it was just like girls even, it still wouldn't be funny, but it wouldn't bother me. But the fact that they're like specifically scantily clad women to look at.
It's more specifically lascivious.
Maybe they're excited about the Bikini Atoll. The coral reef.
Yeah, maybe they're excited about wearing bikinis. I mean, we haven't considered that.
Yeah, could be. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
So Captain Smollett starts giving orders. Furl the mainsail, drop anchor, and then to Sweetums, bring her up hard to starboard, helmsman.
Hey Ryan.
Yeah.
Helmsman not name. Helmsman job.
Yeah. Well, no, they know his name because they did they
did it in the roll call, right?
The roll call, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So literally, helmsman is not his name; it's his job in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this would have been a really great place for Kermit to be more of the Muppet Show Kermit, because he's, ordering people around. There's like a lot of chaos going on, but instead he's kind of just like understated and sort of just hopping gently back and forth. And I would have liked
more businesslike.
Yeah. I think I would have
could have been frantic.
Even if he like pulled himself back at the end, like, oh wait, dignified.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That would have been great. You're right. It feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Like he's getting really excited and losing control and then has to adjust. Yeah, that would have been funny. So all the crew, there's hustle and bustle. Everyone's running around. Jim, Gonzo, and Rizzo start to climb up on the deck. And that's where this clip ends. So we'll see what happens next week. Are they going to make it onto the island? What's going to happen? We'll find out. I have one or two little things from the June 1st, 1994 draft of the screenplay. The pirates who enter the galley include the shark-faced Muppet, who is not in the movie, but has been referred to several times in the screenplay. And also Mad Monty and Angel Marie and Old Tom, and Israel Hands, who reaches into the apple barrel with his backward hands to grab an apple. So they were all in on this backwards hands, Israel Hands in this draft.
Israel Hands,
But
and then they just didn't do it.
yeah, he just disappeared. And then when Long John threatens the pirates, he says he's going to gut them the same way he did Blind Pew. So that's a more explicit confirmation that all of these pirates are connected, that they all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
Than what we get in the movie. So that is all I have. Anything else on these 2 minutes? Katie Lynn, starting with you.
Well, we get our first look at Treasure Island from afar when they say land ho. And like, it doesn't really look like a Caribbean island. It kind of looks more like, sort of like the Skull Island from King Kong or something, because it's got these rocky spires coming out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I looked up, the geography of the Caribbean islands, and most of them, like some of them do have hills and bits of mountainous area, but it's not quite that bleak of a setting.
Yeah. I mean, it looks kind of theme parky in this shot, like Big Thunder Mountain almost. Those sort of rocky spires, yeah. Anthony, anything else on these 2 minutes, or anything from The Strange Case?
Actually, I have quite a lot from The Strange Case this time.
Oh, good.
Because the Jim overhearing Long John's true villainous nature from inside an apple barrel is a very famous moment in the book. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's one of the things in the book that everybody knows. Like, we've talked a lot about how this movie is a very loose adaptation, but It makes sense to me that that's one of the things that they decided to keep. So
sure.
Here is the beginning of that. I just really like the description of what it did to him. I got bodily into the apple barrel, and found there was scarce an apple left, but sitting down there in the dark. So that's different. There was scarce an apple left. In this movie, there's a lot of apples in that barrel. But sitting down there in the dark, what with the sound of the waters and the rocking movement of the ship, I had either fallen asleep or was on the point of doing so when a heavy man sat down with rather a clash close by. The barrel shook as he leaned his shoulders against it, and I was just about to jump up when the man began to speak. It was Silver's voice, and before I had heard a dozen words, I would not have shown myself for all the world, but lay there trembling and listening in the extreme fear and curiosity. For from these dozen words I understood that the lives of all the honest men aboard depended upon me alone.
Ooh.
That's the end of chapter 10.
Oh, wow.
Of the book, yeah. And then
that's
chapter
a good
11,
cliffhanger.
Yeah, chapter 11 is entitled What I Heard in the Apple Barrel, and it's Long John telling the other pirates about his plans and everything. But the other thing I wanted to say is... No, sorry, Katilyn, did you have a question?
Oh, I was going to say, because in the book, not all of the crew are pirates. Like, it's kind of split. So this is... so that scene is Long John Silver trying to convince one of the more honest crew members to come over to
their side,
the pirate side. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I actually have an anecdote from the annotated Treasure Island, which, as we've discussed, the annotated Treasure Island is mostly about like real boat terms and things like that.
Not quite as detailed as the annotated Christmas Carol was.
Right. The Christmas Carol was, so much of it was about Dickens and about the time and everything. But this one actually is about Stevenson, and I think it's fascinating. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote of a similar experience that his father, Thomas Stevenson, had as a boy when he climbed into an apple barrel carried on the deck of another vessel. Like Jim, the speaker he overheard the conversation he overheard revealed the speaker as a very different person than the straightforward mariner he thought he knew. Do you want to know? I think this is fascinating, but I can stop there if you want me to.
No, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
The vessel was the lighthouse tender Regent, which Stevenson's engineer grandfather Robert used when inspecting lighthouses around the Scottish coast for the Northern Lighthouse Board in the 1830s, accompanied by his sons. A Captain Soutar was its skipper. Stevenson, in his family history, Records of a Family of Engineers, described Soutar. He was active, admirably skilled in his trade, and a man incapable of fear. Here, from the same book, is Stevenson's account of the incident in question. So many perils shared, and the partial familiarity of so many voyages had given this man, Sutar, a stronghold in my grandfather's estimation, and there is no doubt but he had the art to court and please him with much hypocritical skill. He usually dined on Sundays in the cabin. He used to come down daily after dinner for a glass of port or whiskey, often in full in his full rig of sou'wester, oilskins, and long boots, and I have often heard it described how insinuatingly he carried himself on these appearances, artfully combining the extreme of deference with a blunt and seaman-like demeanor. My father and uncles were far from being deceived, and my father indeed was favored with an object lesson not to be mistaken. He had crept one rainy night into an apple barrel on deck, and from this place of ambush overheard Sutar and a comrade conversing in their oilskins. The smooth sycophant of the cabin had wholly disappeared, and the boy listened with wonder to a vulgar and truculent ruffian.
Truculent.
Right? It's great.
Wow.
Yeah, so it sounds like basically just his dad thought this guy was, he saw him like sucking up to the grandpa or whatever, and then he heard him just like, talking to his buddy in a more casual fashion with swear words or whatever.
Right.
It's not like he was a pirate, but
no, he was just not such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I like that comes from real life. Like that fascinates me.
Yeah, that he was just like, that apple barrel story, I'm going to use that.
Yeah. I have been waiting to talk about that on the podcast for like months.
Wow, and here it is. And everyone who's listening from their apple barrels heard you tell that. So, all right, was there anything else?
No, that was the thing. It's just I knew it would take a while to read.
Yeah, great.
I mean, we can keep talking about vulgar and truculent ruffians if you want to.
Remind me what truculent means.
I don't know, but I just like saying it. Let's see.
I've heard it before.
Eager or quick to argue or fight. Aggressively defiant.
Okay, so it's like the opposite of. Well, you said he was a sycophant, so he's.
Yeah, he
no
was
longer
like
sycophantic. He's truculent.
He's truculent. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
You either die a sycophant or live long enough to see yourself become truculent.
There you go. Put that on a bumper sticker. So then, with that, if there's nothing else, we can wrap things up for this week. Katilyn, thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank you again for having me. It was great to finally be here on the podcast. So
yes, I'm glad we finally got you.
Still going 6 years later.
Oh, of course, yeah. We'll have you on again for sure if you have things to say about Muppets from Space.
There's always something to say about Muppets from Space.
It's true.
Yes. As always, thanks to Morgan Davy for our show's logo. Listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com, and we are all over social media as well as TeePublic. Got a lot of great designs over there. You can check out the Tough Pigs Discord server, where Katilyn is one of our great head moderators and doing a fantastic job of moderating the lively discussion there.
Thank you.
Yes, and you can let us know what you think of this movie by emailing us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com. Nobody ever does that, so if you do email us, we're almost certainly going to reply to you personally, give you a personal response. I am on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. I'm on Blue Sky at Me Ryan Rowe. Anthony, are you still on Blue Sky?
Yes, I just posted on Blue Sky earlier today, in fact.
Okay, great. So Anthony's on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. So please follow us there. Katilyn, where can people find you online?
I am also on Blue Sky at Katilyn. That's the letters K and T, then Lyn, and then, of course, on the Discord. Come find me.
Sounds good. So then, listeners, please tell everyone you know about this podcast. Please leave us a positive review anywhere you can. And join us once again next week, because we finally made it to the island. Join us for another episode of Moving Right Along. See you then.
Land ho!
Vulgar and truculent ruffian.